Okay, we're getting ready to do the last section of our video. Last time we done all the petting zoo, and then this time we're doing, or last time then we done the vaccinating and weaning the calves, and this time we're doing the we're going to castrate bulls, we're going to dehorn. And I'm going to tell you before we do that, if you don't want to watch that, it's okay. And then we're going to semen check, and then we're going to preg check some heifers. We're going to semen check the bulls, preg check the heifers, and then we're going to vaccinate and ear tag a bunch of heifers. And then we've got one calf that is sick, and we're going to see how good the vet is. I know what it is. I want to see if he knows. So, and once again, and we probably say this a lot, but we want to make sure that you read all the labels on all medications before you use them. There's a withdrawal period on all medications except one that I know of, and that's dexamethasone. I don't know if there's any more that's not got a withdrawal, but you know, you always look and see if it's sub-Q or in the muscle and the amount given to them. So vet's just here and we're almost ready. Okay, we're getting ready to start the show here. And a lot of times they don't pay attention. I'll get in there with him.
Never mind.
Go ahead, bring him to me. This bull's a kid and he is 3 years old.
Yes.
And he's kind of thin because we just brought him in off a set of heifers. So I always check them and make sure that they're the semen's good. I think we said about 10% of all bulls out there do not pass the test, which Michelle and Nate will talk about it now.
So as the bull's coming in, you're looking at their eyes, just their overall body condition, their feet, make sure nothing's growing out there, there's no lameness, and kind of just get an overall idea of how healthy they appear. So when I start these, I start by palpating their testicles. You're looking for symmetry between the two. You don't want pain. You're feeling their epididymis, and his all feel good. Then you bring the testicles down, and at their widest point, you put a scrotal tape measure around them, and you get a measurement in centimeters how wide everything is, the circumference. These are 38 centimeters, so anything over 12 months should be at least 30 centimeters. Some of it varies between breeds, but how old is he, Gary?
3 years old.
He's 3 years old. So
So
anything over about 35 is good for him.
you want gloves, Michelle? Don't reckon I got it. I got some in there. Here.
So next you go in, you kind of clear out any feces they have, and you're palpating some of the reproductive structures like the prostate, the uvula, and the seminal vesicles there. Again, kind of looking for symmetry, making sure nothing's enlarged and nothing's really painful or anything like that when you feel it. This is an electroejaculator. The metal probes point downward towards the reproductive structures. And you just loop it up and slide it in. And if you want to kind of keep that tail down for a second. Alright, once that's in, we'll turn the machine on.
Can you see all right?
Yeah. Oh, she's talking to her.
He said, I can see fine.
So we start that, and it gradually increases the amount of electricity it stimulates with. And then you should see him begin to drop down. On a cold day, you kind of got to worry about how warm you keep the semen from him to the microscope, but today it's pretty warm, so it's not as big of a deal.
I'm gonna slide past you here.
So as he drops down, you're kind of just looking to make sure his penis looks normal. This bull's been tested before, so I don't expect anything to be abnormal, except he may have injured himself in between the last time he was tested and today. No, it's really sweet.
Oh, okay. I was
The
thinking.
plug's been kind of sturdy.
How often do you recommend the test?
Yearly, which still doesn't guarantee they can injure themselves at any point, but it kind of gives you an idea if they're good to breed at that moment.
Well, the real reason I'm checking him now, because he's going to Michigan. With me leasing out a lot of bulls, I want to make sure that I can stand behind, you know. And that's why we're checking him. And that next bull goes out with 40 cows in December. He's a registered Angus and he's a registered Key, so I just like making sure where they're going and that they're okay.
So right now it's a lot of clear fluid, similar fluid, but you kind of want them to the color to get a little darker before you start collecting, so you know it's semen.
In the springtime, we have a bull testing, which Nate or Matt normally does it, the Carroll County Animal Clinic. They always do it over Kenton County. I suggest anybody that's got a bull, it's well worth doing.
Absolutely. It's only $25.
Yeah.
If you join the membership, you can get all their vaccinations that day, dewormed, new fly tags put in, whatever you need done, they can be taken care of that day.
Of course, the first one we do is not going to collect.
We can always take out parts of the video. Vane's good about
Yeah,
editing out.
we can do the next one twice.
Yeah. Hey, more video is better than less, so you can always edit that.
He's not done it at all.
So from here, you take your sample, and go straight to the microscope. Right now, I'm just checking to see how motile they are. And what I'm seeing is just a rapid swirl of semen. So from there, if it's dilute enough, you can go straight back with the dye to stain it. And mix the dye in. And put a cover slip over top. And here we're just looking at morphology, making sure the semen are shaped normally. They need to have 30% motility, and 70% of them have to look normal before you can pass them. And this one's already been tested, so I'm not going to go ahead and fill out the paperwork. But he's going to pass again.
This is also required if you're purchasing a bull through the CAPE program. The bulls are required to have a BSE exam or breeding soundness exam done.
Now, Michelle had a real good point. Michelle?
Can I get that on record that you said it to me?
She ain't doing it now. But start now.
So another thing to keep in mind, we mentioned it's good to do this once a year for your herd. So if you have a set calving season, say you're a fall calving herd, we're testing this bull right now because he's going to turn him out in December. So you want to do it closer to the calving season to when he's going to be working. A lot can happen. Say if he tested him in January, a lot can happen between January and now. It can cause any kind of injury or things like that. And that's not stuff you can see just by the naked eye. You know, all the stuff that he's checking for is going to tell you a lot about what's going on with the bull and whether or not he's fit to breed.
For the $40 or $60, whatever it costs, or $20, it's well worth it, because if the bull goes out there, a friend of mine had 18 heifers tested, and all of them are empty. He just bought his bull out of North Carolina. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if you all tested for Bill Raycan. Y'all?
No, I did. His bulls were they all tested really well. He did something in the middle of being, if I tested hit that bull, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure they caught him trying to breed anything.
Really?
Yeah, I was mad about it, but I haven't talked to Bill.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Just because that the semen's good, that they check out, a lot of times bulls will not breed. You need to watch. Al Bergman had that problem 3 years ago. Had a bull, he tested him 3 times, he was fine, wouldn't breed a cow. So they got a bull from me and had 23 calves in 19 days.
Sounds like you're trying to sell bulls.
Yeah. No, he went to Greensburg and bought another one. Which I didn't want to sell him the one he had. It's like, you know, you can put good icing on a bad cake and make it all good. I'll do that, don't watch me. This bull's a 3-year-old. He's a registered. He does have some spirit. He's real close to getting kicked out. You wipe that off and use it again.
Spirit is definitely a genetic factor they will pass on. Something to think about. We've got.
Well, he's not bad,
Right.
except he don't like. I mean, with me, I got right in there.
Yeah.
With other people,
Yeah. No, in general. I mean, I'm not talking about just him. Just in general. If
yeah,
you've got
that's a good. It's like
disposition it's heritable.
I had 2 sets of twins yesterday.
Did you
I
really?
had 2 sets and
Yeah.
2 different bulls.
Everybody healthy?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Sometimes if they don't drop their penis down, you can push from back here and make them start to.
just bought this bull in the spring.
Yeah.
Brian Jones,
I don't think I know him.
Crooked Creek or
That name sounds. Where's he out of?
Owington. Well, his dad is Jones.
Yeah, we got him.
Huh?
We got him.
Can we take this out?
Oh yeah, you can take him out.
The heck you do when it's 108? You sweating like.
Oh, I sweat terribly. I'm usually drenched on farm calls.
Ain't too bad on me so far. I've not done nothing.
Did we also test this one before?
You or Matt or somebody did down before I bought him. He was testing. What road is that in Owington? Crooked Creek,
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
where Mr. Jones lives.
So there's some Jones in Scott County.
Brian works for Owen County Rural Electric, and it's his dad. Well, matter of fact, he's moving down there now. This is the last one we're testing.
Probably good to talk about open cows too and the cost of keeping open cows.
But you need to be
Do you wanna? I'll do that after he's done.
Okay. I hope none of these heifers are bred. So I'm taking them to a farm then next spring.
Oh, they're all supposed to be open?
Yes.
Okay.
Be a lot faster on you.
Yeah. We give them shots, ear tag them, and nay or nay. But they would be 4 or 5 months. We got one that's got a big quarter. I don't know if she's been snake bit or 18, I think. Get on BJ about the time. Here he comes. I'll get them heifers in here in just a little bit, as soon as I get to it, Doc.
Okay. You good?
Sorry we held you up.
Oh, no,
Us
it's
didn't have
fine.
no help. Michelle and Wanda was late. BJ.
Yeah, you're
jumped
sort of
in.
that guy here, first of all. So it's also important, we talked about how the cost is fairly cheap to test bulls to see if they're sound to breed. If you think of the dollars wise, it's a lot easier to test that bull for $25, $30 than have a bunch of open cows that didn't get bred and have to feed them throughout the year. You can figure in about $1,000 to feed them through the year, and then you gotta think they're not gonna have a calf to make any profit. So that's automatically putting you in the red for that cow. It's a lot easier to go ahead, have your bull checked, make sure he can do his job, let him breed, and then come back with a pregnancy check to make sure the cow is in good enough condition to carry a calf for you as well. If she's got issues going on that she's not gonna be able to raise a calf, then it's a good time to consider her to be a call cow.
Come on, Lucy. Come on, Lucy. Come on, girls.
Have you talked about weighing anything yet, Gary?
Talked about our weight earlier, but
Alright, so when you're palpating heifers that you're expecting to be open, you can kind of just go in, you can sweep the bottom, the top of their pelvis, find their cervix. From there you can trace out their uterine horns, make sure that everything's there, they have all the structures they need. And then from there you can trace up their horn and find their ovary, both ovaries, one on either side, and just kind of palpate those for symmetry and making sure they're normal. I don't know if I can probably get my hand in these far enough, Gary. She's open. She's good.
The reason we're checking these, I take them to another farm and I turn them out, and then in April I sell them as open heifers. So if there's any that's bred, then I need to know now. And when you sell them at the yards and sell them as opens, they probably bring about 10 to 15 cents a pound more.
Did you give her shots?
No, I haven't given them anything. When you guarantee them to be open, they check them before they send them out west or for the buyer. And if you got some that's not open, they kick them back out. You have to buy them and then resell them or bring them back home. Because if you guarantee them to be open, they have to be open. So, and I'm trusting Nate here. You done?
3/4. Oh yeah, go ahead.
You gave them all 3 shots?
I didn't give them a wormer.
Michelle, you want her or BJ?
Actually, if y'all want to give all the vaccines, I can push them all.
Okay, that'll work.
Can't do a whole lot.
Can we
with one
switch
hand.
sides here?
Yeah.
Listen, we can just hang. Do you want to hang it on the other side of the sheet?
Yeah.
Okay. Watch out.
We will get faster, but with this, you know, and this is pretty good facilities compared to a lot of farms. Nate's going to one in Dry Ridge, they don't even have a head gate. So I feel pretty good at least having a head gate.
And if you don't have one, we have ones that you can rent too and set up a temporary handling facility. And it's important to use that too. It's easier on the animals, a lot safer on the people too.
What number? Back to the shots. I won't have to give any more shots to these as long as I own them, because I gave them all their shots when they were young. I gave them the booster shots, and now this shot will carry them through. Whoever buys them will also get their vaccine, because everybody's on a different vaccine program. So.
When you're given these vaccines, you don't want to go into a spot that's got a lot of manure on it. You're taking all that bacteria and putting it right into that injection site. Too. Check the label, make sure you've got the right dosage. We're using an injectable dewormer today instead of a pour-on. This is going to give you longer coverage with this type. You want to follow the same protocol, follow the BQA guidelines on what size needles to use and the placement in that triangle in the neck.
And the reason we're using that wormer is, like I said before, this is the last I'll do to them. She open? This is the last I'll do to them until I sell them. Unless, say in March, if they get February or March, they get real bad with lice, I'll come back and treat them again with a pour-on. So.
This is also a multi-dose gun. You're talking about equipment. It's nice to have a squeeze chute to be able to work them properly. The multi-dose gun is just a convenience thing, but it sure makes it nice.
Well, I was wrong. Number 5's not in here. The reason I'm checking these, another reason is, you know, I've got 25 bulls here, and it's so easy for one to get across the fence and get back out. So
It's important to make sure the heifers aren't bred too young. That's
Right.
the main issue. If they're too small, they're not. I mean, they're still growing when you do breed them the first time. The calf is a 2-year-old, but if they're too little, they can really be hard on them if they get too young. It's usually not a good scenario.
get out there, Nate.
What's that?
Get out there. You spend
You're
too much
worrying him.
time.
I don't want. If any of them would be bred, like this one, I thought there might be a little bit of fluid there, but there's not.
You good?
Yeah.
And he was getting worried.
I'm gonna put a tag in it. You wanna get in the front or back?
Get right
And the reason I'm putting another tag, it matches the other one, different color. I normally tattoo them, but I don't have time or the energy this year. And where I'm taking them, in the past, I lost a couple heifers. They were at the neighbors, and they were trying to say they were theirs. But when I pulled up on my pickup truck, the heifers run to me because, come on, girl. Because they were used to real shiny trucks. Now, Nate, this one here has got a bad quarter. And I want, if she can get down there and look at that for a heifer, see it? Yeah. Just look at it and explain a little what that could be from.
She's never, without ever calving.
Huh?
I've never had one. And without her ever having a calf or being bred, I don't know. Unless they usually don't get any mastitis or anything.
Could
Yeah.
be another calf sucking on her. Like when
Oh
they
yeah,
them.
we can do that.
Alright, you go ahead and tag.
But he had a cow that got, if I need to pick out any replacements, I've got another.
Oh,
Some
we
of
gotta pick
these,
from-
probably 5 of them would work for me, but most of them come out of the other one. I like them crossed.
Dr. Griffin was always saying better. Live longer.
The cattle in Grant County's teeth are worse than our cattle because they're eating on them rocks.
Oh, I thought you were messing.
Come on, Nate.
She's open.
That's funny.
Yep. She's ready to. Enough. Enough. But no, they say the conditions on them eating the rocks. Michelle, you might want to get it quicker.
Oh,
You're holding us up.
Step back.
Nate's hungry.
Nate hungry or you hungry?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Like I said, I found the co-host in the truck over there. He needs a co-host. Hi, Jover. I can put them all on one side. You want me to do that?
Two. Let me go help BJ turn. Here, I'll help you. Hello? Hello? Good, how you doing? Yes, how much are them nuts? Them pecan, chocolate covered pecans. Yeah. Huh?
She good? Yeah. Okay. I guess just talk about moving sides because of BQA guidelines. You want to go a foot apart between every
Give me
injection
3
that
of them
you
if you
give.
would. Okay. Okay.
Like we talked about last time, I'm going in
Okay,
at an
and did that
angle,
boy
so you're not
stop
going
and-
into the muscle. You're going underneath the skin.
Okay, if not, I'm gonna get back on him because I want him to have. You know, it'll help me with the Okay, I'll do her. Okay, thank you. See now.
Is this long range dewormer that you're using? Oh, it is Sidector.
It's not the,
Carries.
it's not the real good, long.
That long range stuff.
What's it,
Long range,
what's it cost? Nobody's ever told me what it costs.
$600 or $700 for a bottle.
500.
About maybe $500 to $600 a bottle. I don't hardly use it any of it, so I don't know the price.
It's supposed to be pretty good. Which,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if it's $700, it ought to be good
I say
stuff.
it's like the best, but I don't use it
Yeah.
a lot.
Because they said you get some good fly control from it even though it's an injectable.
They wanted it to be labeled for that, I think. I don't know if they've done studies for it.
Is that 15 or 5? Number 5's one I'm worried about. Sidectin is good for worms and flies, right?
It's not labeled for flies. Not labeled.
The long range isn't either. Not yet, at least.
You're doing good, DJ.
Yeah. She's about 4 months.
Listen, Nate.
Gary needs that every now and then. You keep that up. Kim never did call me, by the way.
No, he called him the next
Oh.
day and said, I'm coming out. I said, gosh darn it.
I'm gonna need a refill.
You done?
Which? Yeah, I'm all done.
One says HP, this one, and that's the one.
Okay, I'm gonna need some help here, Nate. I don't remember. I get it.
DJ, was you over there helping us vaccinate these cows when Kaz chased Rick? The boy was helping me and 3 Kaz chased him. He got in the middle. He couldn't get to a wall. They kept running around, what was it, a hay spear or something? This is one of them.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Yeah, it's a little loopy.
Yeah. Well, she didn't like him. I
I'd
think
say,
he had a
I'd say
little.
Wanda needs to watch out for lifestyle. The best one was Ryan.
Yeah. You done?
Nope.
What's the next one's number?
4.
No, once again, Nate, we appreciate you all are doing this for us.
I need a new needle. She just got it.
gosh.
On the,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Say that and I can straighten it.
you take it all.
Hello?
Thank you.
Hey, what's happening?
She pulled right in that head gate with her. So that's a
Yeah,
good
be
example. You
careful
need to
for that
change it
one.
because once that's broken, it could break off the rest of the way. If one does break off in the animal, which it can happen, you need to pull it out of there so it doesn't ever go to the, long-term thinking in the slaughterhouse where it can enter the meat supply.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Helpy Helper.
Just here so I don't get found.
She's done. I'm gonna let her out.
Great. Yeah. So you're back to work and. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, we're in the back now. So, no, give me a call sometime. Yeah, have a good day.
Very quick check.
Yeah, that's just loosen that.
Okay. All right. Just want to double check. I like to be sure. Woo!
Listen.
Do you want to keep one or go faster, or are you worried about it?
I ain't worried.
Okay.
They're charging by the head, not by the hour. If he'd have brought another person to help, we'd have done it.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
that simple. He can go back to his
I
boss.
only
I
have
said.
2 trees.
Uh-oh, she's ready to come out.
Oh.
I'm gonna push her forward. she's not. I mean, she's open. I'm just
Okay.
making sure she got everything.
Thought you was doing a science project. Well, she got a little head. What number is she? 19.
I'm gonna squeeze behind
Oh.
you.
Sweetheart, I need your ear.
I'll let you go ahead and tag it.
I'll just do it back there.
Did you talk about placement on the ear?
What's that?
Did you tell them about where you're placing it in the ear? That'd be a good stuff to talk about.
No. You wanna-
Good connection.
It's a pretty good set of heifers for, well, they'll start middle of October. Calving back.
So when Garrison said that, probably the ones that squeal every time. Notice where he's putting the tag in the ear there? It's going in between the ribs of it. So it's all cartilage, but there are those bones that sort of run right there. You can just sort of barely see the ribs. And he put that tag right in the middle of them. It's easier to see on the back. There's a rib that runs here and right behind it.
We don't have many more, do we, DJ?
That's it.
This is it? Okay, there's 6 more in the other barn that come out.
The check?
Yeah.
Which pin?
It's all one pin.
All
That-
one, like the same?
No,
I'll get it.
I think it's the last pin on the right. It's got a red light pepper in there.
Okay.
I'll come in with you. We haven't done 5 yet, have we?
I think so.
She's the one I was worried about.
Oh, yeah, it's coming through. I was looking for that.
Oh, do you think I was keeping track
I
of how
thought
many
you
you
said
done?
we done 5. I never know when you're messing with me.
That's the truth, isn't it?
Stay on my toes.
Remind me, this one is the HB, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
She good? Okay, what numbers we got left?
I wish our shot giver would be quicker.
Well, then you'd wish I was
Just worried
taller.
about you, DJ. How's that sound?
I've been holding.
You were also late. That's why you're in the back. Hey, what? Oh yeah? What was your excuse?
I was never
You didn't
told.
wake up? You didn't wake up, that's what it was, huh?
calves gone.
What?
There's some calves gone. We ain't done 19.
Does that include the 6 or not?
No, it should have been 27. Yeah, I'm done. You done?
She's good.
Just messing.
Alright. Mess with you, too.
20. 2, 4. That's right. We're right.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Since he told midnight, park the car.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You're at
She's
work?
open.
I park cars at night, so it's
Oh, do you really?
I got her
Oh,
tagged.
That's
little
fun.
side hustle.
Yeah, there you go. Is it pretty good money?
She's gonna be a nice heifer. She's older though.
That's my favorite one. I was
Like
over-
ballet or like, oh, cool. You got to move that strap, Gary. I about myself in that thing.
That's the waterfall now.
I could dig a hole there where you can walk through the hole.
That would work.
That might be easier.
You know what? Jerk.
The, the barn was falling.
I never got the one time.
She's open.
They're starting to get too fleshy.
Hey, good pasture all year. It's usually dried
Yeah,
up.
we give them, we're giving them about a pound and a half of grain a day, just to get them to come to me.
Okay.
When you ain't got any help, that's what you do. Feed them to where you
Do them anyways.
Uh,
There are too many places where they're scared to death of people. It's not fun.
this is what we're all worried about.
She coughing?
No, I mean pregnant.
No, she's open.
Get out of there.
You can breathe, huh?
Why do you think she was pregnant?
If you watch her, look at her,
Bigger belly?
yep, and she's slower than the rest, she's kind of Holstein. No Holstein.
She took qualified for certified Angus.
Yeah. She's not actually old enough to be bred.
Really old enough to get arm. She's barely old enough to get an arm in her.
Yeah.
She's good. Are these going right back?
They go back with these, and then everything goes back out front, BJ.
So you don't worry about.
No, I'm sorry. No.
Are you gonna put them on the trailer, or what are you gonna do?
No, they all go out in that field.
So you're gonna run through the lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them about warts on this one.
Yeah, you want to talk about that and cut it off?
That'd be
Sure.
a good talking point, I think.
Yeah.
So above her right eye, she's got like a growth. It's a wart. Called papillomavirus. They're contagious between calves, but they get over more. They make a vaccine for it, but I don't really use a lot of it. To help them get over it on their own, you can rip them off, and it kind of stimulates their own immune system to keep them from coming back. But they can be transferred between calves on contact.
The vaccine doesn't work.
I've heard I've never used it really.
I've used it.
I heard for a while they were buying them like $100 per pound if you had the super warts.
What?
So they can make the vaccine from them.
Dude. Huh, how about that?
And I've heard of people feeding them back to
I heard that.
I've never done it. So
No, I've done that and it's worked.
you guys. Have you compared it to how long it takes them to get over it if all you did was rip them off?
Well, they were show calves. And we ripped them off and then fed them back. It didn't take long at all. Just to heal up the place where they were, you know?
Yeah.
And that's all we needed was to, we never had them come back.
Come on, sorry. I wasn't trying to squirt
I think that's the only one.
Another way they spread too is like ear taggers and stuff too, right?
Yeah, that's why I try not to reuse these unless I'm pulling off another wart, but I use different ones than I'm using for everything else.
We got some sterilizer here somewhere.
I always
got
use
some
an
on
ear
the truck.
tag cutter.
You,
I'm done.
this is my girl. We might show her in the fair next year. Bless you.
What'd you say she was?
Maine.
Open.
Someday, she'll have a calf. She'll produce a calf to be down there, top 5 at the state fair.
How do you end up with you got several different breeds, don't you?
Yeah,
How do
I've
you,
got.
you just buy and sell a lot?
No, I got green on
Oh, you have
here. And the limousine.
I got you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Evidently, Matt ain't told you how big an operation we're running here.
I was at Brookman,
Evidently.
and I was like, which way is it here to get to your farm? And he started telling me, he's like, wait, I don't know which farm. Like, he said you had like 4 or 5. I was like, oh.
4 or 5, shoot, that's fine.
I got,
4 or 5 in the area, I guess. I don't know.
I think I got
That's
five.
county.
No, nobody told me.
I don't have that many. It's just spread out. In case I get I don't want to be on record.
She's good.
She's Maine, half Maine.
What you cut the tags out of these for?
These are odd tags, and we're
Oh,
tagging.
gotcha, you're just replacing them.
Yeah.
Oh, was number 5 the one with the wart? Or
Yeah.
something? Oh, okay. I never stopped at number 5. I didn't notice that one with the wart was number 5.
No. No, the one with wart was one of these calves.
I thought it was number 5. Which cow's in the head gate right now?
This one,
This is 3.
10.
It's 10 now. It's 248. This one here, I didn't sell her last, or this spring because of the ears. The ears are drooped.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
What's that caused from?
I don't know if the winter can do it, the cold weather, or what do you... I've seen one that was born basically without ears and they were really... Like, you have an idea? Genetics? I imagine it's genetics.
Well,
Somehow, something slipping through.
that bull, I've had 2. I had that bull on this cow, on this set of cows. 2 litters, and we never had any. We haven't had any of them. This is the first one I've ever had.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I imagine it's just something, some genetics coming through.
Uh-huh.
Some mess up.
About 4 days old, and it wasn't cold. Well, last winter wasn't cold. You know, I've had them.
And usually, yeah, they're like, they look different when they get cold. I
Yeah.
haven't seen many of those.
Yeah, they're like that long.
Yeah, they would have robbed me on her, so that's why I didn't sell it. What number did I put in her? 22.
Let me At least I'm starting to duck now. I'm just hitting my butt and stuff.
I knew after a while you get smarter.
Man, is there another cosplay today? Jeez, Gary, you're on fire, man. I'm not used to this.
I don't think she's going to be ready to. I hope she's not ready to.
This was out of the heifer. Didn't grow too good. She got some spirit.
Yeah, she's the one.
Yeah, if she ain't brown, sell her.
Said you hurt my feelings. I can't even laugh.
You are missing some.
How many's there?
They're too spaced out.
You missing some?
Yeah.
That's 26, so you might be right, because I might have missed one.
Yeah. Should have been 20. No, there should have been 26.
And then you're good.
Oh, Isabel. Got a heifer here now. Thought you wanted to get a picture with me.
No, I was about to. I didn't
This
know where
heifer
you were going.
here was one, just like the heifers we preg checked last year. I turned her out and she came up with horns. And if I was to sell her, she would have probably been deducted about 15 cents a pound. She's a good stock, so I'm gonna keep her to breed. Matter of fact, she'll get bred here in the next few weeks. So I did not dehorn her, so Nate's getting ready to dehorn her and show us how it's done.
And
So-
Nate, what were you giving there?
What I do, I'm going to keep giving some more, but what I do with these bigger horns especially is give them some lidocaine and try to block around the horn so they feel as little pain as I can. And then give her an injection of something called Banamine, which is for inflammation and pain. I'll put her a halter on her, and then we have 2 different dehorners for her size. We'll use the Keystone dehorners. They're like a guillotine here. And then after that, so with the bigger horns, sometimes you can have an opening to the sinus, right where the base of the horn is. And so I'll burn anything that's bleeding and burn around the horn with a hot iron over there that's heating up. And then if there's a big opening to the sinus, I'll put some cotton in it. I'll pack it in there and burn it off, burn it so it stays there and there's no water or dirt getting in there that can cause infection later.
One thing about dehorning, you do not want to dehorn and turn the calves back into a round bale. And the reason is they will scratch that round bale and get hay down in it and get infected. And then the flies lay eggs in it, and then you got maggots. And then you got problems. Right, Matt? Right?
And we try to, they're kind of breeding horns out of them, using pole bulls and things. It's just more stressful on the calves, especially when they get bigger horns like this, to cut them off. We're just gonna have to work on Gary's management.
Yeah. Yeah, this one got through the cracks on me. That's fine. That don't happen very often. But no, this is the only one from last year I missed.
So it's important to tell too when you're looking when they're little, they can have horns or skurs. Skurs can look like horns, but they don't actually have the bone underneath of them.
There's different ways to do this. There's different ways to do this. I'm just doing a ring block around it.
Good name.
I don't need another.
You ever play basketball?
I might steal a syringe over here, Gary. So I don't have to run
Yeah, go, whatever. Could be yours anyhow. We'll have that bad boy.
to here.
A lot of times talking about the skurs, real skurs are loose.
Yeah,
You know.
you can wiggle them.
Yeah,
If you
they'll
grab them at the
wiggle.
base, they'll
Can't
wiggle.
wiggle these. But
They'll feel, they look similar a little, but they'll feel different when you get a hold of them.
the main, like Nate said, if you use an Angus bull, most of the time, probably 95% to 98%, they'll be polled. Two kind of bulls are a polled bull and a horn bull. So this bull, or her dad, was not polled. Most of the calves is, well, a lot of them calves are Angus. I breed them to Angus cows. They don't have horns. I only have probably, well, I've only got 3 little ones this year. It's got horns out of them. 35 cows, 40 cows. This is the only one I had last year. Which if Matt was here, I'd tell that he dehorned this one last year.
I'm gonna pull this cord underneath it.
You could have hooked up to that electric there.
Oh yeah, there's another one.
Oh yeah, I told you.
I'm used to the electric not working anywhere in barns.
Here, I can hold that. Let me hold it. It doesn't see where this is going. We're going to be some blood sites here, so if you don't want to see blood, go get you a drink or turn it off or fast forward.
Skip to the next video.
Yeah, so there could be, and there will be blood, and watch yourself, Wanda.
Yeah, it'll spread.
Now you got it? He's cauterizing it there. There's a little blood vessel in there, and some people go in and pull that out if you don't have a hot iron. But if you
I
got,
will if I can get to it. Her sinus didn't open that much, so I'm probably not gonna be able to.
yeah, well, you're gonna stop it. That's how you stop them from bleeding, if you pull out that little blood vein, or like he's doing, is burning it. She'll look different in 30 days.
I wanna be able to tell.
In about 4 months, you might be.
Mats.
Yeah. Take 'em.
Oh, are they mats?
No, they're not. Here, I'll take it. Wait, look.
Cotton.
Oh, you gonna put cotton on it? Good. No, see this? It's been broke.
Oh.
These were veterinarians. Probably 70 years ago. I think he was a vet or a dentist.
God, that's scary.
Yeah. Here, I'll hold it.
We're gonna wrap her and take her to the other side.
Okay, don't look if you don't want to see blood.
So right here, you can see into the sinus a little bit. That's what we're gonna try to cover up and keep anything from getting in. Sometimes you'll cut them at the base and there'll be an opening like this big on bighorns.
The reason I didn't dehorn this calf earlier was for this video.
Demonstration.
I wanted to show.
It's
Now
Neat
the-
examples.
Yes, the next one we do is at the right time. I mean, it's a small one and he'll cup it out and much easier, but I kept this one around just for this. Huh?
You gonna do it?
Yeah, open the
So
door.
as you can see, these are the smaller horns.
Yeah.
So
We'll use a different set of dehorners. We'll use Barnes dehorners on these.
Now this is the size you should do.
yeah. So that's always the size that's easy to tell if it's a scurry. You can take it and just,
Right.
just wiggle.
Unless it's been knocked loose.
Yeah. So I guess the technical term, the spur is just cartilage, right? And the horn actually has bone.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know. I just cut them off.
That's fair.
You can those. I guess you can just burn the scurs if you wanted to do it, and it's just I don't remember what the tissue's called actually.
Can we try to push them forward?
Yeah, that might help.
Okay.
I was just trying to get this
Yeah, so
halter
I was
behind
just
us.
gonna say, put that board in.
All right.
Good?
That'll work.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to double it around something?
Yeah.
Don't watch yourself on accident.
If
Uh,
I think you need to bring it.
watch myself back here.
I hate to.
I got them. They won't come out.
Okay.
There's different
Is
ways
he-
to block these. This is just the easiest way for me to do it.
Is that
Go ahead
rope
and
tight
shut
enough?
your door, BJ.
Or do you want to pull it tighter?
Oh, that should work.
You didn't blame me, did you, BJ?
No, I didn't even think it's
Huh?
wrong. Is that one going in the same pen, or can I move it so I can keep that white one separate? Are we going?
Well, we got an empty can, don't we?
Yeah.
Put all these
Tighten
in the
it
empty
up.
can,
Sure.
then we bring the white one.
Usually if it's double, it looks pretty good. Me? Oh, don't do that. Habit. Gosh.
You're gonna use my,
Oh yeah. I got some of those in the truck. I figured yours are probably
yeah, I bet you do.
Yours are probably sharper than anything I got.
I don't do many a year. I do for other people, a lot
Do
of
you have to
wholesale.
sharpen them?
No.
All right, these are called Barnes dehorners. You're basically sliding over the horn, and it'll cut it off like that. And this is the disclaimer part with blood.
If you don't wanna see blood, go
That's
get
cool.
your
You wanna
popcorn.
do it? I don't want to take your job from you, DJ.
We do need to give these calves a black leg.
That's the way. Just take it.
Michelle,
That would have been,
you still got the medication?
yeah, I just kind of remember what
HB is the one that's the virus shield, and the one that's Ultrabac 7. It goes into V6.
Okay, so you want the
That was
Ultrabac,
original.
right?
They just need wormed.
Oh,
Oh,
They've had all
They
this.
don't need
Or
black
no,
leg?
they need
Ultrabac?
tetanus. Tetanus.
Oh. The Ultrabac has black leg,
it doesn't have tetanus though. If you want
so
tetanus,
this needs
CBT.
both, then, right?
Huh?
You just want to do both? You just
Very
want to do
good.
one?
It don't matter. Yeah, use it.
Okay, that one.
See nothing
This is
castrated?
this
Well, go ahead and use it up. But we need to give them a shot of this for
one. Okay,
sure.
so that's that one.
5cc. No, that one's not that. That's black leg. This black leg. That's not tetanus. His ain't tetanus.
Okay, so you want to use this syringe,
Yeah, give it that. And then,
but this is the Virus Shield 6, I believe.
I don't know.
6 plus the HB if it's a heifer, if you're keeping it. Steers a lot of times they'll just do the virus shield 6.
It's a steer.
Virus Shield 6.
Neither one's gonna hurt it. The HB just has lepto in it too. Alright. We can switch to the other side.
Do you want me to wait to vaccinate?
Now if you want. Quick, man.
Just make sure you get tetanus. You always give a tetanus shot when you're gonna.
I'm just gonna give them a little bit because we're talking. There we go. Do you want to do one too?
Huh?
Do you want?
But you didn't give it a tetanus shot.
I gave them both of them, so you've got everything you've got over there.
No.
The
His-
one is tetanus, right?
CBT has tetanus in it.
Yeah.
Your black leg?
No, yours.
Yeah, but she didn't use mine.
Oh, yeah,
used
she
yours.
did.
Sorry, Michelle.
We used these two. That's what was in there, right?
No, the one says S on it.
This is the one you want to get.
Yeah. He should have a needle. Well,
I should have one in the pocket if you need it. Halter's about to. Yes. Thank you.
Let's see if there's one that do more with it. There's a little part of me dies when I do this stuff.
Oh,
You
that's a
know
good
that?
one. Sterilize that there thing. Oh, that's a good one there. Once again, remember, when you dehorn, do not let your cattle go to a round bale for about 3 weeks to a month. Right?
Yep.
Nate? Cody, Nate, that
You're talking about
It's right
hay
there.
going into the hole, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
They scratch it and they,
Yep.
yes.
Did you say yes to dewormer?
Huh?
Did you say yes to dewormer?
No, we just worked these the other day.
Okay, I just checking.
Yeah.
Dang.
This is another thing, if you don't like blood, don't watch. Nate's gonna castrate.
Part of tailing them, just like she's doing, you want to crank the tail straight up and put pressure on it going straight that way. That'll kind of help keep them from kicking you while you're back here. Trying to cut the bottom of their scrotum. So what you do is you pull their scrotum out. You want to cut off the bottom third of the scrotum. Then you'll kind of grab a testicle and milk it down. Straight down with it. And then you want to take as much of the cord as you can with it.
Put them two, Michelle.
You count the two.
You want them to, for
If you've
demonstration.
ever heard of what's the, oh shoot, Colorado oyster, what is it?
Rocky Mountain
oysters. That's it.
And then I like to, it's getting to the end of the fly season, but I still spray them with something to keep the flies away.
You did give it a,
I didn't give this one anything yet.
okay. Just, that's all. It needs a tetanus shot.
He just needs a test.
Well, whatever, yeah.
I just do black leg on these. I don't give them tetanus. Don't worry about that if I'm banding them. But if you don't have tetanus, there's nothing wrong with that.
You want to do tetanus?
I always give a tetanus shot when I'm cutting.
Probably the safest route.
Yeah, and it don't cost.
Okay, it's pretty cheap.
That's why Covexin's kind of nice. It has that black leg and tetanus.
You write that down,
Yeah.
cause that's what they sent to me. I said I want black leg and tetanus.
They should have sent you Covexin then.
I thought that's what you said you used to use, was Covexin.
Yeah, and they said they didn't have it. They sent me this and it's flights.
You know, last year I had a hard time finding a Bird Shield Gold
We,
for whatever
It's
reason.
hard to get right now. There's some, I've got some in the bottom of there, but we probably should.
Could I like maybe buy some off you?
I think we're out. I've got enough. This for my next call is why I've got it. We maybe have 150 days with the clinic, but I think Matt's switching to pyramid response.
Okay.
what do you need?
Bird Shield Gold.
For how many heads?
What do I do? I'm trying to think. Is that the one for the calves too? You don't use the Boba Shield Gold. Well, the Boba Shield Gold one shot for the calves.
I use. You can use them both and everything, but so it's a modified live. You don't want to use it in cows that haven't been. Or calves that are going to be around cows that haven't had it, or
Yeah.
cows when they're pregnant. 'cause
All
they
the
can cause
cows have
abortions.
had it before.
Oh, okay, then you're good.
Yeah.
I've only used the one shot.
25 doses.
That stuff isn't cheap either.
No, it's not. We had some lepto problems though, and it cleared that up for me. So,
I got the one shot. I don't have the.
well, there's like a Boba Shield Gold 5, and then there's Boba Shield Gold one shot.
This is Bova Shield Gold 5 one shot.
Yeah, it's in a blue box. One shot's in gray.
Okay.
I've got both in there actually.
Oh,
Is
you
the
got
one
some?
shot is the kind
She
you
can
need.
get.
I don't know. I'd have to call Matt. I mean, I might be using it on my next call. It's the only reason I would do what I got.
I've got the one shot if that will work for her.
started collecting them and eating them too. I'm not kidding. Haven't done any calves yet. It's good.
No shots, I guess?
You didn't give it?
Well, no, I didn't get shots for his tail, man. Keep him in there, BJ. He needs a shot.
No, go on. Send him out. Leave the white one back there, BJ. I want him to go back and we'll.
I've collected hogs, testicles, and lamb fries. And they both do really good.
Shot real quick.
You know, I should do a comparison, but them testicles in that last calf were the same size as the first calf.
Yeah.
That first calf is part Holstein and
wonder.
raised on a bottle. And he's older than that second calf, weighing 200 pounds lighter.
That would have been a good thing to
Yeah.
compare and talk about.
And typically with I cut off the it can depend on testicle size, but around 600 to 700 pounds is about where I draw the line, and you have to start banding them again.
Yeah, you got the ratchet band.
Yeah. Calicrete bander.
Yeah. You want to
Might
make
talk
sure
about
you give a tickle shot using them.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
you definitely have to get with that.
You might talk about too. They used to use the crimpers back in the day. They didn't have the workers.
Some people do that still, I think.
Really?
Bad luck.
Yeah, they're not, I
Not recommended.
I don't know if the people that use them that I've heard had bad luck, just weren't using them right, weren't crippling them well enough, but
Oh,
they don't leave them on long enough.
that might be it.
You gotta do one at a time and then you do them both at the end together. But they don't leave them on that time. I've never used them, I've watched,
I've
Watch
never used it. I've
people.
always heard about it.
but they're not successful.
Did you explain about the tetanus shot? You might want to talk about that for the video of why the tetanus
give
can
this
grow
a
on
shot?
the. I'm gonna use that now.
So it's the metal that does it. Or just banding. It sets up it's necrotic tissue and then tetanus can set in, I guess. Is right.
Well,
isn't it?
I'll tell you, we got a neighbor that had a calf, 4 months old, weighed about 250 to 300 pounds. He called one night, come on, Megan. And
There you go. Oh,
when I wean calves, I feed them, I put them on a AS700 for 28 days. Give them a pound a day, and that takes care of all shipping, fever, and pneumonia. Last year, I done probably 200 calves and had one to get sick over the whole winter by the program I use. Very successful. This calf has not had that because it was in the summer. Well, it was probably in August or September, end of August, I reckon, when I weaned it. So I did not put it on that feed. We just got our first shipment of it in today. So that's what I do to keep the sickness out of our calves when we wean them. But you got to feed it for 28 days. When you wean a calf, the sickest days it's going to get is day number 8, day number 13, and day 22. Them's the 3 days that your calves is liable to get chipping fever. If we bring any calves in from stockyards or another farm, we quarantine them and we feed that along with all the shots too. You can't be too careful. It costs probably 60 cents a day to feed it for 28 days. So you got $15 or $16 per calf in them. If they get sick one time, they'll lose enough weight to overcome your expense. Well, I'll take that back. He hasn't been away.
Has he had any antibiotics?
No. No Dex or nothing. I'm a firm believer in Dex. I don't give a shot without it.
So's the president.
Yeah. Yeah. Now he is.
I'm kind of just
So
looking for
mad
any
about me
harsh
using Dex.
or dulled, muffled lung sounds. Some of the newer things people do is they'll ultrasound the lungs and looking for like consolidation or evidence of pneumonia and things like that.
Got a problem, Nate? We're shy one.
There's two right here. So that'll make for a pretty cool video. Dissect those.
You found them all?
Nope.
You shouldn't be shy one.
I say he counted to 2. I watched him.
Standing on it?
Maybe. It's underneath that little door or something.
Here we go. Oh, I didn't need to second guess it.
Here.
Oh, it's right there.
This is why you cut them. This is why you don't band. So you make sure you get both of them. I think you had him a little scared, Gary.
Yeah, boy, he cut right through it. didn't he?
I've never done it before, but I wouldn't put it past me.
We're all human, right?
You see how long this thing's been going down?
Probably since you weaned it.
Said this beginning of spring, didn't it? Is that right? I
What?
can't remember what he said. If it was this spring, he said it was the last few weeks it got worse, right?
I'm just giving it some Banamine, anti-inflammatory. If it is like a pneumonia, you don't always see a fever, but it's not wrong to go ahead and treat for that. And just see, did he have antibiotics he wanted to give, or is he something?
I can go grab him and ask if
Where'd
he
he
wants.
go?
I think he's outside over there.
You have any antibiotics, or would you give some?
I ain't got in here. No. What's wrong with him?
He's a poor doer, honestly. I mean, he may have had pneumonia or something. There's no call for it, and as long as it don't sound too bad right now. But
I'll take care of it.
you have
Yeah.
what do you have?
Penicillin.
Penicillin.
I know you use that high dollar stuff.
Exceed or you can give him Baseril.
Yeah.
But penicillin, the problem with it is you got to give him multiple
I
doses.
will.
Oh, you will. You keep them up.
Yeah. Or use the 3-day and double the
Yeah.
dosage.
Yeah.
I'll hit him with 20 cc's and
Hopefully, he gets better at some point.
yeah.
Let's talk a second about
They're
a
just
poor
starting out,
doer
man.
versus a easy doer.
What's that?
It said let's talk a second on a poor doer versus an
Oh,
easy
gosh,
doer.
you might be better off talking about that than I am. They just never do well. It's like they're prone to recurrent different types of infections and things. They never want to pick up weight. I don't have a really.
You could put it to a healthy calf and
Yeah.
feed them the same amount of feed.
Yeah.
They could be same genetic lines and everything else. Just one of them is going to gain better than
Come on,
the other
baby.
one. Other one's going to get by on less feed.
Probably has to do with a lot.
Watch out, one
Yeah,
is
a
gonna
lot of
come this
cats
way.
they get inadequate colostrum in the beginning. All right, so these are 3 different types of banders, kind of based upon the size of the testicles, the size of the bulls. I'll typically use this size up to about a month old. The earlier the better with these. After that, so I usually go from there to cutting them like we did earlier. And then beyond that, I'll use these at, say, 600 to 700 pounds. This is a Calicrete bander. You just have to slide a band into it. Lock it in. And then you'll put this around their testicles. And then you'll crank this until it's really tight. Basically, this thing back here will show you how tight it is. Once it's tight enough, you'll just cut the band off, and you'll crimp it with that crimp in there, and then you'll cut the band off, and it'll stay. Gary uses these. How you said about up to 600 pounds?
pounds.
It's just a bigger version of that rubber band, basically. Just something bigger to get testicles into.
But always remember, give a tetanus shot.
There you go.
Give a tetanus shot.
When you're banding, tetanus shot. I won't do it a lot of times with real young ones with these, but once they get older, tetanus everything.
Right, right.
So that's 2 advantages to cutting with the scalpel like we did earlier versus the banding. You don't have to worry about tetanus as much, and when you go to sell, if you're selling as feeder calves, then they're going to sell better because you didn't miss any testicles in there. It's easy when you're putting a band on to have one go back up into the body cavity.
Yes.
It'll kind of make like a stag look on a feeder calf, so you don't get a price dog.
And the bigger they are when you band them, the more stress it causes them.
And the longer it takes. I go by the sign of the moon a lot. If the sign of the moon's wrong, you can band one with them big banders, my big banders, weighing 600 pounds, and it could take 6 to 8 weeks for that sack to fall off. But if the sign's right, I've had them come off in 4 weeks. If the sign of the moon, which we're not going to get into that. No, I use a calendar from Farm Bureau.
I use Matt's method. The signs in when my knife is sharp.